Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Kelsey. I'm an actor and voice actor living in Chicago, and today I'm going to be reacting to Why Epic Mealtime Eventually Failed by SunnyV2. Epic Mealtime was my favorite thing ever in like middle school, early high school. I loved Epic Mealtime so much. The candy burger thing was my favorite. I watched it so much at sleepovers with friends. It was the best. And then I kind of forgot about them. I assumed it was just, you go through phases of watching certain content and liking certain things. So I assumed it was that, but I hadn't realized that I hadn't heard much from them lately. So maybe SunnyV2 is going to tell me why. Let's find out.
The idea in the beginning was original, unique,
muscles glasses,
intelligent, simple, and perfectly suited to the YouTube platform.
Oh yeah. So much
to create
food.
The most ridiculous, massive, unhealthy meals out of foods that were already ridiculously unhealthy.
No vegetables. Anything that could be considered a vegetable, I don't want it on the burger.
Fast food lasagna, Turbacon Epic Thanksgiving, and Maximum Mac and Cheese all gained well over 10 million views, helping them to maintain their position as one of the top 10 most subscribed channels for a whole year.
Look at that list. Look at that list of YouTubers. That is old school right there.
Back in 2012.
Ray William Johnson.
However, a quick skim over Epic Mealtime these days reveals that the channel has unfortunately been unable to
Rosanna Pansino. She's really cool.
Retain their viewership over an extended period of time. The approximate 50,000 views on each video is in stark contrast to the channel's heyday, with many of these 50,000 views likely coming from former fans, either coming back for a hit of nostalgia or to investigate what on earth ended up happening to Epic Mealtime and why the channel's extreme viewership eventually floundered. Because in the beginning, everyone was talking about them on YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, and even in real life, which was the first thing that gave them a massive advantage over every other YouTuber. The Gamer from Mars mentioned a similar phenomena around 4 years ago in his video talking about the group.
I remember back in the 10th grade, whenever there was a new episode of Epic Mealtime, all the kids would come to school the next day and discuss the creation they had made.
On the exact opposite side of the world over here, it was the same story. The first thing you wanted to do after you discovered Epic Mealtime was tell your friends and family about this channel that made the most outrageous food imaginable. For some reason, Epic Mealtime just generated more word of mouth discussion than what felt like any other channel at the time.
Tell your friends to watch epicmealtime.com.
EpicMealtime.com.
And obviously, as their food challenges got crazier and crazier, discussion surrounding the Epic Mealtime channel got crazier and crazier. In the process, the channel would implement a unique, recognizable style to the videos, where Harley Morenstein, the creator and host of the channel, would take on an overly serious, borderline rude persona.
15 Baconators. What? 15 Baconators.
Alongside recurring characters such as
Muscles Glasses,
whose whole shtick was basically just to stand there looking tough. Additionally, to add extra fuel to the fire, each episode would feature
know what that man's
of Jack Daniels
face looks
and bacon
like.
strips, which, similar to Russians as mentioned in the previous video, were just a weird, unrelated, random pop culture trend or meme back in 2011.
Tyler, bacon. You love bacon. Why'd you love bacon?
Tyler, the creator.
I don't know. Bacon is the greatest thing ever.
The video format was also set up in a way that
love Tyler
went towards success, in that there was always some reason to watch each and every video until the very end. You wanted to see what the calorie counter would get up to at the end of the video. You wanted to see what the final food creation would look like at the end of the video. And you wanted to see the interesting ways in which they would eat the food at the end of the video. Channels weren't as sophisticated.
And they're like funny reactions when everyone's just at the end like, oh, food. Also, I forgot they did a video with lights. Oh my gosh, I love her.
Back then to the point
I remember I watched that when it came out.
Until the end of the video, as is common these days. So when the format naturally forced you to watch the whole thing, it was an unbelievable advantage.
Meat Shield.
With way above average levels of word of mouth, unique, recognizable branding done alongside an entertaining video style, all nestled within an unbelievably perfect format that forced you to watch each and every episode until completion, very few competitors stood a chance against Epic Mealtime. After only 9 months on YouTube, their channel achieved 1 million million subscribers faster than any other YouTuber
Oh,
up until
whoa.
that point, and only a year after that, Epic Mealtime was up there with
Tobuscus.
the other founding fathers of YouTube, such as FPS Russia and Shane Dawson, which then opened up the
Lonely
opportunity for an
Island.
Epic Mealtime mobile game and a spin-off TV
what?
show called Epic Chef. With a presence held in every corner of popular culture, Epic Mealtime was on top of the world. However, with so much success gained in such a short period of time across a friendship group of up to 10 different people, disputes and arguments between the crew began to unravel the channel's unbelievable success.
Oh no.
Juggling the politics was always the one thing I did not like to do and I didn't enjoy.
As 2013 rolled around, fans began to notice that it was becoming less and less common to see the whole Epic Mealtime crew together as a group in any of the videos. One article written by New Rockstars made a comment about one of Epic Mealtime's recent videos, stating that the strangest part of the episode was not the bizarre monstrosity of a meal that had been created, but rather the fact that Harley Morenstein was appearing in the video by himself. The reason for this would eventually come to the surface, and was what you might call unfortunately predictable. Behind the scenes, some of the people within the group weren't exactly getting along.
You know, I went through a period on Epic Mealtime where, you know, things are like getting difficult with personal relationships and it's becoming very taxing mentally.
Two of the most infamous recognizable crew members, Alex Perrault and Tyler Lemko, each had a falling out with both the creator of Epic Mealtime, Harley Morenstein, and his brother, Darren Morenstein, who had also been a co-creator of the channel. When interviewed on the topic, Alex Perrault, who played the character of Muscles Glasses, stated, "Essentially, I felt like I wasn't being treated fairly considering the value I brought to the show. Other than Harley, no other member of the crew had any ownership of the company."
That's really tough. And that's really tough. Like, that's what happens a lot of times in like friend groups or groups of small people who decide, hey, we're going to do this thing. And then when it becomes more of a business, these things start to happen. Like I feel like it's really important that everybody's value is considered. You know what I mean? Like everybody's value is considered and everybody like feels like they have a say in what happens. And because otherwise stuff like this happens, which is not great and not great business practice, which unfortunately making funny videos at some point, if it gets to this level, becomes a business and you have to have business practice. But also if it's within a friend group, that's doubly sad because it's like, am I a value? I'm not being treated as if I'm a value to this show, to this channel. But I'm also not being treated as if I have value as like a person or friend, which is a line it shouldn't cross, you know? That's really sad. But I'm sure Harley has his own things to say. I mean, there are multiple sides in this
There were
type
many
of thing.
promises made over the years that were not kept. It got to the point where I couldn't trust Harley as a friend and Harley and his brother as business associates. Later, Harley would explain
disappointing.
that Alex Perrault had been a salaried actor who was simply paid to play the role of Muscles Glasses.
You got paid to eat bacon. And that's why I had a big issue with like the falling out, because I was like, dude, man, one day a month we film you in like 4 different bacon strip shirts to make it look like 4 different episodes, and then you're gone for a month and you get a salary.
But with Muscles Glasses being such an integral part of the show, perhaps Alex felt entitled and was
See, 2 sides to every story.
possibly even promised a piece of the business or simply more money for his involvement, a promise that, as mentioned in the previously discussed interview, may have never been delivered on. From Harley's perspective, he stated that toward the end of their relationship, Muscles Glasses became somewhat unimportant for the show to continue, yet he expected to be paid even more than Harley himself.
It was like
That's okay. Everyone should be on equal footing, or should at least be able to negotiate, but that's a little much.
6 months of a back and forth.
But again, who knows if we're all even getting the full story here. I'm sure there's so much more that went on, you know? These things are very complicated.
Essentially asking to get paid more than myself and anyone else got or anything like that. And after 6 months of like discussing it, I was kind of like, at one day I woke up and I was like, yo, you haven't been on for 6 months and the show's still going on. So I'm not so worried about your leverage because we're still existing. I was like, bro, let's not beat around the bush. You get paid to eat bacon once a month. Like, relax. Like, Like, relax with all this.
Tyler Lemko agreed with Muscles Glasses, stating that he had left for the same reasons, however also added that business just got in the way of it being fun. You could almost
Also
feel
a
the
big
truth
concern.
of this statement as their channel got increasingly more popular. Harley stated that at times, specifically when the team moved to LA, the videos were becoming a chore or a job, something he needed to do for the sake of paying his employees as opposed to a fun project as it had been in the beginning.
I kind of got to this place where I'm like, it's a job, gotta do it. And I go back and watch some of these videos, I'm like, I see that moment where I was like, yeah, gotta do my shit, because if I don't do it, you know, people aren't gonna have jobs.
During the initial months of the channel, it was just a group of dudes who seemed to be making the videos because they genuinely wanted to see nothing more than what kind of monstrosity they could come up with for that specific week. But as time progressed, that bunch of bros just trying to make the stupidest thing possible vibe just kind of went away. By 2014, not long after the channel was one of the most popular on YouTube, they'd even put out numerous episodes where Harley, the host of the show, didn't even appear and was replaced by other members of the crew, like they were just making the food because they were paid to do so, while Harley was probably out handling other things related to the business side of the channel.
There's like so much more going on and infrastructure happening beyond just me being like, yo, I'm in the kitchen with the camera, boy, get at me.
Going too hard on the business side of things can really take a hit on the channel's level of fun and homely relatability, which may have happened in Epic Mealtime's case, judging from Tyler Lemko's comment of business just got in the way of it being fun. However, it's kind of hard to blame Harley and the Epic Mealtime channel for going more corporate and wanting to up the production value because
that's the direction YouTube went. And any content creation these days, that's just the way it's going.
production value might have been one of the only things they could change. The format was extremely limiting. We mentioned earlier that cooking a big meal to completion proved incredibly effective in getting the viewer to watch each and every video until the end, but for the very same reason, it was incredibly simple to replicate and there was barely anything they could do to make the format novel.
The show's not like it's like a novelty anymore. There's, you know,
there's lots of
many
things.
channels that do the exact same thing, essentially.
They could use a new recipe to cook a new meal for every single video, but beyond that, the room for variation was limited, resulting in unavoidable repetitiveness, which then began to show in the video's average monthly viewership. By late 2013, long after the departure of Tyler Lemko, Muscles Glasses, and approximately 3 years after the channel posted their first video, the channel's monthly viewership declined to approximately 10 million per month, where it would stay for the following 3 years. Despite the drop, Harley hadn't lost any passion for the project. He'd upload a new Epic Mealtime every single Tuesday for 5 years straight. However, the drop in views did mean that making the videos financially feasible was becoming harder and harder.
Right, because with money comes
YouTube
production value, ability to pay people, ability to spend a lot of time doing it because you know you're going to get X amount of money out of it.
isn't in a place where spending $1,000 with, you know, like 5 employees making an epic meal makes any sense anymore. You know what I mean?
With each video costing approximately $1,000 for supplies and probably another $1,000 again, if not more, to pay for his 5 salaried employees, getting the numbers to stack was increasingly difficult with a dwindling view count. If each video was costing them $2,000 and we use a standard ad rate of say $3 to $4 per 1,000 views, each video would have to be gaining more than 500,000 to 700,000 views just to break even, a number that the videos wouldn't always reach in 2015. Harley did mention that they had food sponsorships and merch sales to assist in making the videos more financially feasible, but with a slow yet continually declining view count, it was unknown as to how long the videos would be feasible for. However, there were additional things that were also going negatively against Epic Mealtime. The insane word of mouth that they'd experienced in the beginning had dried up substantially as everyone knew about the project. It wasn't cool to talk about it on the schoolyard anymore. The weird popular culture obsession with bacon had well and truly passed, yet was still a staple of their brand, which gave the channel a bit of an outdated feel, almost like the videos were a tribute to what the show used to be, as opposed to a show striving for a fresh, meta, updated production.
I mean, I feel like bacon's still like a huge thing, you know? I feel like I feel like it's not necessarily that deep. I feel like bacon is still like a thing that people love and put in lots of things. Could they do something now with like making a giant mochi ice cream or like a bathtub of bubble tea or something like that and like incorporate other food trends? Yes. But I don't think keeping bacon as like a big thing is necessarily like super outdated feeling.
Epic Mealtime also swapped out the intensity that had kept their content interesting in the beginning for blander, more relaxed, docile videos that felt like they had less energy invested into them.
Big Wally, Big Wally!
The epic music was like a huge part of it. It's not hard to add music. It's not hard to add music.
Wow.
I'm sure he's just also picking and choosing to show parts that are like really contrasting. But like, it's not hard to add music, and there's so much royalty-free music out there.
That is so sweet. I'm eating the sesame seeds and they taste Dr. Peppery. Do I have sesame seeds in my beard?
All of this.
But I get if they wanted to like take a tone shift on the channel to like try to do something new, because I feel like trying to do the exact same thing with the epic music and like the gross mouth close-up shots might read as outdated. So I get if they didn't want to keep up that same energy for fear of seeming out. That one I get.
In combination with the fact that it was really just the same video being made over and over again with different foods, dropped the viewership to approximately 2 to 4 million views a month throughout 2017, and with a continually dropping view count and the channel approaching 10 years of age, Harley began to think about ending the show entirely.
There is a rumor, pretty confirmed, that you're shutting down Epic Mealtime on in October of 2019.
Yeah.
The main reason for this, as Harley explained, was due to the age
wow.
of the show.
So
Also
it's just
implying that
gone.
the cooking had become monotonous.
Now it's we're coming up to the 10 year, and I'm like, you know, like I don't even like cooking, bro. No, I'm kidding.
When October 2019 rolled around, the date at which Epic Mealtime was to end, the channel's content changed slightly to eating the whole menu challenges, as well as the display of cheap or expensive food.
Which is a thing that is very much already being done, mostly by like being done very successfully, mostly by people who are a lot of the people who left BuzzFeed around like 2016, 2017 do this type of stuff on their own like big channels that they're growing. So I can see where deciding to make like an attempt to do something, well, let's do something different, what other people are doing, but other people are already like doing it super, super well. And it's for those channels, food related content is maybe not something they've seen from them. People have seen from them before. Yeah, this just ends up falling a little flat, unfortunately.
However, it slowly changed back to cooking up massive meals similar to the early days of the show.
They were trying something though. They were trying something a couple of times, which I can respect.
Overall, the channel just feels
I respect that a
bit
lot.
outdated. The thumbnails feel a couple of years behind, and the video page looks a little inconsistent and unstructured when compared to the early.
I don't know. Some of those, I don't know about the people still do thumbnails like these all the time. I don't think the thumbnails look that outdated. People still do stuff like this every single day.
Days of the channel. However, Harley seems like an incredibly driven, success-focused individual with a high degree of personal responsibility who simply found himself imprisoned within a video format that unavoidably became repetitive. He's taken the fall of his channel on the chin and is therefore simply grateful for the opportunity to have been a big name in the early days of YouTube, an attitude that we can all without a doubt appreciate as commendable.
I never expected it to go so long. I never expected it to be such a thing. You know, there was definitely some trials and tribulations. There was definitely lots of things to celebrate. I think I'm a very fortunate person. I think I was very lucky.
Yeah. That's a great outlook to have. And you know, sometimes like you're able to, especially with like content creators who've been doing this for a long time, you have to find, while you're still in your stride, I think, a reinvention point where you can start sliding new stuff in there, changing it up ever so slightly as to like be able to do certain things or get people, you know, have like a really charismatic or engaging set of people on, where the focus is equally on the content and on the personalities of the people. Because then in that case, no matter what those people are doing on video, there will always be a certain amount of people that will watch those videos simply because they feel like they know these people and they want to see what these people do in these situations, you know? Like, and I feel like I liked Epic Mealtime But back in the day when I was watching it, it was a lot of, you didn't really get to know the people. And they kind of, as people, like the content was crazy and super fun, but you didn't get to know them as people. And it feels like they were doing like the same sort of caricatures of each other every time. So then it feels jarring to see their more recent videos. I guess the channel's been over for a couple years now, but like their last videos where they changed up the format, it almost felt, to me, that would feel jarring because I don't feel like I have a sense of who these people are, like personality wise, outside of just being those like bacon strips and bacon strips and bacon strips. And so there's not really, if the content isn't there and isn't evolving with the times, and the show format isn't evolving with the times, and instead is just being like, we're doing a new thing now. We're doing a new thing now. And we still don't really get a sense of who these people are. I feel like that it doesn't make people want to like continue forward super, I don't know, in a super reliable way, let's say. So yeah, I'm not an expert. These, but I do the YouTubes. We do the YouTubes here, so I have a little bit of insight on this. But good to know that he was just like, you know what? I did good things. It was fun. But I'll do something else now. And I mean, he's got, like, people still know who he is. Like, if you say Harley Morenstein, I'm like, oh, he's Epic Mealtime guy. He has a big beard. He likes whiskey, and like he did like a show, I think it was on Food Channel. They definitely showed in this video, but I don't remember. So I'm like, people know who he is. So he, at least if he wants to do more content creation or pursue more shows, like food-based shows, people know who he is. You know what I mean? So yeah. And even like cooking and food related, I know I'm long-winded on this, sorry, but food related shows are not going away. It seems like there's the Food Network, sure, which is like, prime time. And then like BBC does a bunch of stuff. But even like every streaming, like YouTube, I think has original food shows maybe. But like so many networks, and I feel like every streaming service have their own food shows. So there's no shortage of opportunities if he wants to get back into it that way. So yeah. Just a cool thing to have been a part of, and something that succeeded so quickly, which is so cool to have seen. They had a good run. And thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. If you liked it, be sure to like it and subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and I'll see you next time.